is more than just entertainment. It's a lens into society, relationships, and human behavior. I'm Grace, and here on the Grace Report, we dive into stories beyond the headlines. Whether it's reality TV drama, celebrity scandals, or royal family intrigue, I'm here to break it all down. What it means, why it matters, and how it reflects the world we live in. Join the conversation, share your take, and let's make sense of the culture shaping our lives one story at a time. My mic is muted. I don't know why it would have been muted. Good morning, sunshine. Listen, y'all, I don't know if I warned you or not, but I did take out my extensions. They were driving me crazy. Y'all know I prefer my hair to be like really big and curly, but the ones that I had last time, I found that they were getting matted too quickly. And like, I was finding myself doing so much trimming, adding so much mousse. It was driving me crazy. So I just decided to go ahead, do my clip-ins, and then figure out what to do from there afterwards. So surprise, surprise. How are y'all doing today? By the way, Delaney, congratulations again on your wedding yesterday. I really hope everything turned out perfectly for you. I wonder if she's going to, be able to pop by you guys and give us a little bit of an update. Good morning, Gala. Good morning, Cammie, Jody, Eve, Venetia, Becky. Good morning, Ray, Ronnie. Let me put down my iced coffee. Today I'm tired but energized at the same time. I don't know what's going on. Good morning, Tamara. Good morning, Lynn, Acacia. Acacia, how are you doing with the bouquets? Have you had any beautiful new bouquets? Any beautiful hikes? I haven't been on TikTok in so long, so I feel like I'm missing out on what you've got going on, boo. Good morning, Kev, Deshauna, Shadell, Tamara. Thank you so much, Tamara and Lynn. Thank you. Good morning, A, and nice to see you. I am so excited for today's episode of the show. I think it might be a little bit shorter, depending on how much y'all have to say about this Janelle and Kenleigh story, actually, because I only have 3 stories today. It's Janelle exposing Kenleigh's restraining order and then doing an Ask Me Anything session where she just talks about Barbara J's, her life and whatnot. Then we're going to talk about Andy Cohen speaking out on Wendy Osefo and Eddie Osefo from the Real Housewives of Potomac getting arrested. And we're going to end things out with another Bravo RHOP story. And it's former RHOP star Katie Rost accusing Ashley of going Chowtown on her kitty. Lots about that. Okay, you guys. Good morning, Castle Magic. How are you doing, boo? Happy Tuesday. Good morning, Money Swipers. Oh, we missed you, boo. I haven't seen you in a little minute. Nice to see you back. Thanks, Venetia. And Tammy's here from Kentucky. I love that. Hi, Tammy. Nice to see you, boo. Thanks for joining us. Happy Tuesday. Acacia says she's been doing both. Back to making bouquets. Ooh, listen, I got to get back onto TikTok then so I can see your beautiful bouquets. I love that. The last one I saw was like yellow with like chamomile and stuff. Really beautiful. Good morning, staff. Hello, Miss Fluffy, Gwen. It's so nice to see y'all. And Gwen, I love that you're here despite feeling tired. I hope this episode of the show wakes you up and gives you the energy you need. Hello, Latasha. Good morning. Nice to see you. And Michelle, hello. Good morning. Deshauna says you should try human curly hair extensions. Free Trust makes good ones. I used to wear them, but I have locks now. Ooh, can I put these as clip-ons or are these like crochet? Is it a weave? Like, what is it? Like, I feel like kind of lost hair-wise right now. For now, I will say though that I do enjoy clip-ins, but I'm not sure what my next move will be. Melissa says, by the way, there's so much foam. That's why I have to tip my thing so high up. I moved into my new place, just busy, but I'm back, girl. Congratulations on your move, Money Swipers. I love that for you. Hope you're having a great time in your new place. That's so exciting. You guys, can I show you something that I was doing? I don't know why. Yesterday, I just had the urge to make a confetti cake. And y'all know, I used to talk about this on my channel maybe 2 years ago, how I really wanted to learn how to make cakes from scratch and decorate them and whatnot. And so I had gotten into learning, but then I was having a hard time making them soft and supple because when I would make them, they'd be kind of hard and dense or whatnot. But I did it yesterday. Yesterday, I made a confetti cake. I put it in the fridge overnight so that I could decorate it today. I just put the lemon on because I felt like the cake looked kind of bare and boring without anything. So I just sliced some lemons. But you know what I'm going to do? Later this week, I'm going to go to this little store, like a botanical store or something like that, and buy edible flower sprinkles for the next time that I make cakes and stuff. That's what I'm going to decorate it with next time, because all I had was lemons. It's not a lemon cake or anything like that, but voila, that was so freaking fun to do. I did a mascarpone frosting, so just mixed mascarpone. Do you guys say mascarpone or mascarpone? Mascarpone cheese with some milk and some sugar and some vanilla extract, and it was delicious. I'm looking at it from all the way over here like, you need to go away. I already promised half of it to some people because I know myself, I will be eating it like as if it's my dinner, right? So I'm not doing it, but it's delicious, you guys. Absolutely freaking delicious. I swear. It feels so nice to be back into cake making. I really loved it and I really missed it. So I'm really happy to be back. Good morning, human. Thank you so much. It's so nice of you. Misha's back. Hey, Misha. Thank you so much. Nice to see you again, boo. Tamara says, I love starting my day with your positive. Well, thank you. Listen, good vibes only, right? Good vibes only. And thanks, guys, so much for all the compliments on my cake and the tips and stuff about like the flowers and whatnot. Like, yeah, I'm definitely going to do that next time. Listen, I love making cakes. The only reason I stopped is because I don't want to be eating all these cakes. Y'all know me, I'm a gym rat. So I don't want to be, just eating junk food, right? But now that I have some people I could share my cakes with, I think I'll be back to going ahead and making more cakes. So stay tuned for all the adventures in my cake making journey, you guys. Let me see. I want to catch up. Thank you, Gala. Nice to see you again. And Deshauna, that would be so good. I love a good cupcake. Yes. Listen, let's manifest it for you, Deshauna. Why not? I think that'd be absolutely amazing. And I hope your dream comes true eventually, that you get to have a cupcake boutique. Thank you, Tamara. Terry, what is this Quinn app that you're talking about? Listen, I want to know what you're talking about. What's Quinn app? Do I need it too? Latasha, absolutely delicious. It was one of the best cakes I've had. Really freaking good. Acacia's asking me if I saw the birthday party that Kale put together for Black Isaac. You know what? I forgot to bring that up as a story. So why don't we go ahead and we start with that story then? Do you guys want to see it? I was looking at it over on the Sun. Like, there's not too many pictures, so I just didn't bring it over here. But why not? Let me go ahead and pull up that story so we can lead with it. Listen, you guys are my co-reporters, right? Which means like when y'all have some fun like stories that you want to discuss, like n'hésite pas, don't hesitate, like bring it up. And if we've got the time, like today we've only got 3 stories, so if we got the time, we will talk about it over here. Okay, so thank you, Acacia. And now I see what y'all say about the Black Isaac thing. I remember I just like said that randomly. Someone was like, oh, that's hilarious. I was like, oh, really? Is it? And it's been so long since we talked about him. So now seeing this for the first time, I'm like, oh yeah, maybe she's right. That is hilarious. And Deshauna says the curly hair she's recommending me is crochet, but there's also, yes, I think I'll do the clip-in version. Because listen, you know what I love? For me, it's a hobby to like wash my hair. I really enjoy washing my hair for some reason. And so, when I have these extensions that are like longer lasting, like crochet or whatever, where it's like more complicated, I kind of get frustrated with that. So I think I want to stick with like the clip-in route for a little bit. So I'll check these out. Thank you so much. And, if there's any like particular brands you recommend, please let me know and I'll check them out. Listen, I've got the story Acacia was telling us about. Did y'all hear about this? Kale throwing a birthday party, or, listen, it's not confirmed that she's the one who funded this, but I wouldn't be surprised, right? For Black Isaac. I'm having an iced coffee and I put it in the blender, coffee and ice cubes in the blender, and you get this big frothy thing. Delicious. Anyway, this is from the US Sun, you guys. T-Mom Kailyn Lowry caught celebrating secret boyfriend Isaac Knighton's birthday after split from fiance Elijah Scott. Let's see what she's got to say. Kale parted ways with the father of her 3 youngest children in April. So there's Black Isaac right there. And this is him with his birthday. Ooh, what are these needles? Okay, with his birthday needles. I guess those are like shots in syringes or something like that. The US Sun exclusively revealed in June that Kale was involved with Isaac Knighton, though she kept their relationship under wraps. Listen, she finds out her fiance was cheating on her in May, and then we find out in June she's got another man. This man has always been in the cut. I think she and Elijah had an arrangement. So she showed up some pictures of her with some pregnant girls who were friends with Black Isaac over at like Topgolf is where I think they went. But Kail didn't show off any actual photos of this guy. So the U.S. Sun went through her friends' Instagrams to find photos of Isaac celebrating his birthday. And so there you go. Over the weekend, Kail, 33, posted photos from a Top Golf outing showing herself posing with some of her girlfriends. One snap showed them standing on the platform in front of the green with a Timon 2 alum standing between her two pregnant gal pals. Kail showed off her body and face transformations. Oh, they're shady. After recently undergoing a double chin facelift and other cosmetic procedures. So there you go. For the people who are wondering about a facelift, there you go. Other photos posted by her friends and shared in a popular Reddit thread showed the rest of the group, including Kailyn's new love interest. They noted that it was Isaac's birthday celebration, which Kailyn was sure to avoid revealing on her page, presumably to maintain their secret romance. Kailyn reportedly got together with Isaac shortly after her split from her fourth baby daddy, Elijah, 26. Yuck. Isn't that so gross? Like, what are you doing with like a 25, 26-year-old? Wouldn't that mean this guy was like 24 when she started dating him? Like, with all these kids, like, really? You looked at this and didn't see a child? That's crazy. The U.S. Sun exclusively learned that Isaac lives in Allentown, Pennsylvania, and attends Northampton Community College. But I do believe, per Javi, that he recently moved over into Kail's house. So I believe he is now living in Delaware, right? So then they get into how Javi exposed her and whatnot. So listen, Kail at this point, she's sick of all the bad press she's getting about, like, you know, all this, you know, D-hopping she's doing. And here's the thing, you guys, there ain't nothing wrong with a little D-hopping if that's what you want to do, right? But the problem is when you are bringing all of these like random children into the mix and whatnot, it's crazy. I don't know if I told you guys about this. Like, please remind me if I did. But Kail has been talking more and more about wanting to have a girl. She's like, I really want to have a sister for my daughter, Valley, because to heal my own inner child, because I had a sister, but I didn't get to actually grow up with her or anything like that. And so, you know, it seems like she is actually potentially thinking about going down this route, right? So listen, I don't know. But don't be surprised if you hear about another baby. Maybe she'll go the surrogacy route. Maybe she'll go the IVF route. I'm not exactly sure, but she does say that this is something that she now, thank you, Deshauna, that she now almost definitively wants to do. Just saying. All right, Cammie. Thank you. Next. You know, and here's the thing. I don't mind like chicks who are like, listen, if you don't act right, I'm on to the next, you know, good for you. But again, no babies with all of these random men. Don't do it. That's like the worst thing you can do to yourself. Good morning, Angie. Good morning, YouTube addict. Good morning, Shem Gem. Nice to see y'all. Terry says, how does she keep up with the kids' names and the boyfriends' names? There's so many. You get the kids to change their name if it matches your latest boyfriends. That's how you keep up. So you could scream your boyfriend's name in bed without feeling weird about it. Ray says, how does she just drop a ton of money senselessly for these boys? I see the number of views she's pulling in, or I should say not pulling in, LOL. Where is she making her money? Does she do anything else? You know, she's got so many sponsors for her podcast. They have so many ads. And then she's has like this whole affiliate thing going on her Instagram. Anytime she posts her outfits, and y'all know these are the most boring outfits you can imagine. It's like leggings. It's just random sweats, you know, and she'll post this affiliate link for people and like for books and stuff. So I think maybe she's able to make a good amount of money through affiliate marketing. You don't need to have a lot of viewers. You just need to have good affiliate like deals, right? So some brands will say, I don't know, I'll give you 10% or 20% or something like that. Some brands can even go up to 50%. So if you know, have a high ticket item or whatever, right? So I think she might be doing that. I don't know. And she's on a bunch of different platforms. So I think she's doing pretty well. However, I do have to be honest with you, Ray, I think that she's overspending. I don't think that her income aligns with her spending and the way that she wants to position her lifestyle, especially with 7 kids. She says each child has $1 million waiting right here, right now. I don't believe that sort of a thing. I'm just saying. Allie says a baby cannot heal you. You need to heal you. Exactly. I agree. I felt that way when she was talking about, like, you know, wanting to have, you know, a second daughter specifically for the purpose of healing like her own kind of traumatism or whatever, trauma surrounding the fact that she didn't get to grow up with her own sister and stuff. I was like, I don't know, girl, do you really need an 8th child just so you can heal this thing inside of you? I think maybe if you change therapists and go to like one that, you know, is a little bit more effective for whatever you've got going on, you won't feel the need to do that, right? Oh, here comes Cynthia telling me to get my ass in the gym. Okay, girl. She says, gosh, I hope she doesn't have another baby for the sake of the kids and their future mental health. I agree. Honestly, it's very, very weird. And can I say something? On today's episode, because I just finished listening to the Frenemies podcast with Becky, Kale's still talking about wanting to delete herself. So, here she is talking about, in last week's Coffee Convos, how she wants to have another girl. And then here she is in this week's Frenemies podcast talking about how she wants to delete herself. Could somebody help me understand this? This is insane. I just truly do not understand her line of thinking at all. Just saying. Be wise. Hey, boo, I haven't seen you in a minute. She said that she wants to heal her inner child. She needs to go to therapy and get counseling. Period. Deshauna thinks she's overspending. Me too. Listen, the whole Wendy Eddie thing, if I heard about Kale going down for something like that, I would believe that. I would have seen it coming from her, before I saw it coming from them, sort of a deal, right? Acacia's oh, I wonder if Black Isaac will crash out like Chris. Listen, for her sake, I hope not. I sure hope not, because Chris is still over here spending all of his waking hours on Instagram and TikTok talking about Kale. Ray says she talks about taking herself out and leaving her kids behind, and she wants more. Exactly. It's crazy. It's crazy. You know who she reminds me of? My hairstylist. Actually, I had to change my hairstylist because she's constantly preaching to me about how you have to have kids and blah, blah, blah. And I'm like, I don't want to freaking hear it. And meanwhile, she's heavily religious, right? To the point where she believed in the rapture. I think we were all supposed to be taken by the rapture last week. She believed in that. And so I would ask her, I'd be like, well, if you think the world is ending next week, why do you feel like somebody should have children just for them to die next week in our rapture? Please answer me that. Some people, I just truly do not understand the way that they think. It hurts your head to even try to see the logic that they're purported to have. Ronnie says she needs serious help. All this talk about that, about not being here for her kids is weird. Exactly. It's very, very alarming. And I don't think it's fair to constantly put your friends in that position where they're okay, are you serious? Are you not serious? What should I be doing? What should I be doing to help? And then maybe her friends have already experienced other friends, ending their own lives. And here you have one joking about that. It's really weird, even for listeners, maybe, some, you guys know what my friend, I have a friend who tragically took her own life. Just a couple of months ago. You don't want to listen to people joking about that because it's serious and people do follow through with this sort of thing, right? It's just weird. Allie says she might need to fire her current. Yes, she needed to fire this therapist 5 kids ago. Jesus. I agree. YouTube Addict says, I can't wait for Lincoln to write a book. Elliot is her puppet, but I trust Lincoln to tell the truth of who she is as a mother. You know who else listen, I think Lex is a firecracker. He could totally do it. However, he is the fave, in my opinion, right? He is very, very much the star, or treated that way anyway. So I don't think that he would sell her out, unfortunately, but he seems to have the best personality for that sort of thing. When he says, getting your hair done isn't there? Oh God, it's annoying. I don't like being preached to. I really don't. I don't like being preached to. So I think I'm going to have to change my stylist, which sucks because I really like her, but this is just too much for me. And it's getting worse and worse because she's really convinced the world is ending. And I'm like, all right, girl, please, anyway. Terry says Christians really have to ignore logics and reality. When it comes to the kid thing, especially, I'm like, why would I do that? Don't you think that's selfish? Isn't it? Kev says, I stopped listening to that podcast because that's all she talks about now. You see, you guys, yes, a lot of times in her podcast, she talks about this. She really, really heavily fantasizes about it. And it's very uncomfortable to listen to. It's weird. And the comment section, because they do have a public comment section, you could see people are telling her, Kale, stop. This is not funny. This is alarming. It's strange. And you need help. Courtney says, I feel like she has one of those therapists that just, you know who that is? And she fires any that tells her she's wrong. You know who that's giving? Amber Portwood. Her little child psychologist guy or whatever that she's seeing. Yeah, that's the vibe that it's giving. Gwen says, yep, there were 2 rapture dates recently within 2 weeks of each other. Exactly. And still nothing. Wasn't the last rapture Y2K? Come on, just enjoy life instead of looking for the end of time. Just enjoy what you've got. And I agree. Listen, let's just, how much time do we have? What is this? 2025? Give us until 2035 and we might have our first book out. We definitely will. I don't know like if it'll necessarily be a Kale child written book. It might even be Sophia. It might even be Jace. It might be, Kaiser. I don't know, but we will have a book, a tell-all book coming. I don't know if you guys watch John and Kate +8 or whatever, but Colin from their batch of children, he's writing a tell-all book about his mom. Fluffy says her mind state is so odd. Since I've had my son, I'm more afraid to die because my son needs me around right now. Exactly. Like that is the typical mentality of parents. I'm not going to take any risks. I'm not going to be doing these foolish things anymore that I used to do when I only had myself to live for. Now that I've chosen to bring these helpless, little babies into the world that need me to survive, I am going to do everything I can to take care of myself, all that stuff. But first, like, yeah, F these kids. I'm trying to delete myself. Actually, let me have one more, then delete myself. I don't get it. Kev also says her therapists are from BetterHelp. That's all we need to know. That's why it's not working. She does so many ads for them too. So by the way, I forgot which one of you asked me. I think it was Ray. How is it that Kale's making money? Well, BetterHelp is another really, really, really big sponsor of hers. So maybe they write her a really big check as well. Now, speaking of people who need counseling, why don't we get into Janelle Evans, y'all? Janelle Evans, she decided to do an Ask Me Anything over on her Instagram account. And, there's something she did that was so creepy, which is that she somehow managed to get her hands on a copy of Kenleigh's restraining order against David Eason. Kenleigh has since clapped back about this, the violation of her privacy, to go and get a copy of this, then to put it out there on the internet like that, like the level of unhinged that it takes to do that, like, do not understate it. Like, it's very scary what Janelle just did to this girl, and for no real particular reason. She says that she's over David, doesn't care about David or whatever. Yeah, here she is stalking David's latest ex-girlfriend. So let's take a look at her Ask Me Anything. I've got it in order until she goes and puts out the information about Kenleigh's restraining order. Sorry, you guys, I can't read it on the screen there. It's a little bit too small, so I'm gonna have to pull it up from over here. So somebody asked, any truth to the Tea Mom pages posting about you talking to David again? F no. She says, I believe that's a question that Janelle asked herself. Somebody asked, how's your mom doing? Janelle claims that her mom's doing better, but I don't think her mom really updates her or speaks to her like that. Janelle was very recently talking crap about Barbara, per usual. She was saying Barbara's jealous of her, I don't know, her ugly leather pants, something, I don't know, all sorts of things, like just talking crap about her for years consistently. And now all of a sudden, we're supposed to believe that they've become tight. Barbara's filling her in on how she's doing. Please, right? I think Janelle asked herself how her health is doing. Still healing from sinus surgery / cyst removal, but getting better. Mentally exhausted. You should have said mentally ill. That's what I think she should have put. But I digress. Are you dating / looking to find someone? Janelle responded, been single since January and haven't dated since then. I'm so picky now and have higher standards. No one keeps my attention long enough. All right, girl. And then when it comes to the Kenleigh restraining order, this is where she officially leaked it. Somebody said, any idea why Ken put a restraining order on your loser ex? Girl, you're so much now. So I guess this is maybe so much better off now or something like that. And then this is where Janelle actually went and took a picture of Kenleigh's restraining order filing and exposed it to the internet against her wishes, right? So in it, Kenleigh had checked off number 4. And the section said, and let me go ahead and rotate my screen actually so I could fully read this. The defendant, aka David Eason, has attempted to cause or has intentionally caused me bodily injury or has placed me or a member of my family or household in fear of imminent bodily injury or in fear of continued harassment that rises to such a level as to inflict substantial emotional distress or has committed actual offense against me. And then give specific details, right? So obviously it doesn't necessarily mean that David Eason was violent to her necessarily. It also meant that she could have had a fear that he could become that way or just, denouncing him for stalking her or harassing her in any kind of way, right? So she gave a particular date. Can I just tell you guys, is this September 4th or is this April 9th? Which one is it? This is September, right? This is September 4th, month, day, year. Anyway, police were called to my house. He was verbally abusive, cussing at me, calling me a dumb hooer, and doing burnouts on his bike on my street, acting very manic, banging on my door nightly, coming into my room at ungodly hours. He was panicking. It appears as though David knew that his days were numbered. He was panicking really hard, trying to beat down Kenleigh as badly as possible so that she would stay with him and feel like she wasn't worth any more than, he is capable of offering. And so I'm really happy that she stuck to her guns, continued to distance herself from her relationship with him, and to kick him out of the house eventually, right? Via this restraining order. Exactly, Janelle. Listen, Keisha, I think it's great to have high standards. However, I don't know that a woman like Janelle can have high standards or mini standards just because of, who she is and whatnot. Like, I don't think that she can attract like a good guy. I just don't. People can change this and that, but Janelle has not changed. And so she's always going to be attracting kind of like the loser style of guy. So I found that to be a little bit ticklish. It tickled me, I should say. And we all know that she's really obsessed with men. She cannot stay without one. She's claiming publicly that she hasn't dated in a long time, almost a year, but we know that's not true. I've been reading her book, Read Between the Lines, for my channel members, and pretty much every chapter, half her diary entries, she's got a new boyfriend or a new love interest, like she's really, truly obsessed with men, and, and so I can't see her. Tamara, yes, great question. So Janelle's Barbara's other daughter, Ashley, had provided an update. And in the update, she said that Barbara was doing well. She returned home. She's awake. She's moving, grooving. And that Ashley and some other people were continuously checking in on her. Minnie says, Janelle loves asking herself questions. Exactly. Listen, anything about health or claiming that she's a good mom and all this stuff, and she needs to ignore the haters, those are things that she writes to herself. I actually even believe that she writes into herself about David Eason as well. Right. And exactly, if Kenleigh did what Janelle did, right, which is to go so far in your stalker journey as to allegedly go to a courthouse to get a copy of a restraining order, Janelle would have tried to sue her. She would have gone to the police, taken out a stalking charge on her, all of the things that Kenleigh needs to do, because Janelle, this is really disgusting, weirdo behavior. You don't do something like this to somebody who is fighting against somebody who's harassing them and whatnot. Like, that is absolutely insane. It really, really is. I cannot believe that she would do that to Kenleigh at all. Like, what was the point of that? Like, really weird to put all her business out there. Jess says, morning, running late, starting from the beginning. Happy Tuesday. Happy Tuesday, Jessica. Nice to see you again. Every time I see the sky in Jessica's photo, I'm like, wow, what a perfect moment. It's like perfectly bluish, pinkish purple. It reminds me of cotton candy, and I love it. So where were we, you guys? Here's the next Ask Me Anything thing. Ooh, I cannot tell y'all enough how much I love my iced coffee. All right, girl, is your mom going to be okay? Are you doing all right with it? Hang on. Do I not have that there? Somebody asked her, is your mom going to be okay? Are you doing all right with it all? To which Janelle says, I'm hanging in there, but life is super tough right now. Not going to lie. And then here is somebody asking how Jace is doing. Janelle says he's actually doing very well at the moment. Very proud of him. So I guess I kind of accidentally mixed up the order of these two Ask Me Anything questions. My bad. Here's the thing. I don't know that Janelle is in very much contact with Jace. I think she's trying to save face to make it appear as though she really is up to date on how he's doing, what he's got going on in his life. But I do believe that Jace has decided to go no contact with Janelle. So I don't think that she has a legitimate update, but she just wants to appear as though she has an update. She's still blocked from following him. Like, I don't know, or maybe he's still blocked from following her. I don't know which one did it to which, but they used to follow each other on Instagram until Jace went and exposed the way that she really does talk to him behind the scenes, like curse him out and just treat him like overall garbage. And then they were blocked from each other's Instagram accounts. So, and then on top of that, I did hear from, I think it was Page 6 or maybe Us Weekly, but apparently Janelle did go up to North Carolina and did get to spend some time with Barbara at Barbara's house. And a source said that Jace was very uncomfortable by her presence. He wasn't feeling it at all. So, you know, take of that information what you will. Somebody's asked, do you think David will reach out to you next year? Janelle, stop asking yourself questions. What is this? I don't know and I don't care. He's obviously the same person I left. Girl, you asked yourself that damn question. Like, who would even ask something like that? Let's be serious. And then here's another thing that she submitted to herself. You're a great mom. You know what? I have seen what you can do as a single mom. Stay strong. Oh, thank you. I'm trying my best. Literally nobody, no sane person would ever think that to write a message to Janelle accusing her of being a good mom. Literally, like that was insane. And then there was another comment about Amanda, who is a Teen Mom Next Chapter star, disgraced Teen Mom Next Chapter star, Ryan Edwards' latest wife for now. She's in a beef with Janelle. I forgot why they're beefing. Because Amanda shot this video using a Cardi B rap verse. And in the rap verse, Cardi B raps, you know, name 5 BS songs, gun to your head. And so Amanda took her infant baby, newborn, pointed her fingers at it like a gun, and then pushes her down, onto the bed. And Janelle was, you know, rightfully disturbed by this. She made a TikTok video denouncing Amanda's actions, and Amanda just went in on her. They've been going back and forth ever since, right? And so the person said, Amanda really likes to post stupid-ish to get a rise out of people and you. Ridiculous. To which Janelle responds, just shows her character as a person, and that's the people I love to stay away from, 100, just like Farrah. All right, girl, whatever. Listen, was Janelle in the right in that situation? Absolutely. And that's what makes it so scary, that Janelle, of all people, you know, could look at somebody, you know, harming a child and speak out. You know, typically this is what we're doing to Janelle, and she doesn't see it as harming a child, right? So that's just, you know, really embarrassing. Good morning, Mocha Madness. Nice to see you, boo. Courtney says it's actually pretty hard to get a 50B in North Carolina. You have to go to court 10 days after filing and show proof to get one. So she really worked hard to get that restraining order, right? So why the heck would Janelle go and put her in this situation? Right? I think it's weird that somebody not even involved in this situation, in something as intimate as a domestic violent situation, can go and just get access to that. Somebody who's not a member of the press, somebody who's not, you know, going to be involved in the case as a witness, as an expert or something like that. Like, that's really, really scary. And I think that there needs to be some sort of reform in regards to that, because that sort of information is very private and very intimate. So I really don't like that at all, right? When he says, I wonder if Kenleigh can get her for cyberbullying. I hope so. Listen, Kenleigh, you need to try anything you can to get her for this, because what she did to you is disgusting. It truly is. Good morning, Kelly. Good morning, Hamlets. Good morning, Crystal. So nice to see y'all here. Hope you're having a great Tuesday. Bone, what a beautiful sunset. Or is it a sunrise? Not shocking. Look at what she did to Jace when David allegedly choked him. She called Jace a danger to her family that David was right to protect them from. She did this whole post about how she appreciates and supports David Eason, right? Very disgusting, disgusting creature she is. Jenny says, Janelle stays obsessing with her exes and their girlfriends' exes. You know, and that's why I don't understand why she and Kale aren't good friends anymore. Like, those two girls are one and the same. They're two peas in a pod, right? And I hope so too, Woody. You know, I have heard other sources like publicly coming out saying that Jace is doing well too. So I really hope he is. And I hope that seeing how frail his grandma is and everything, like, puts everything into perspective for him and he calms down. You know, I know he's acting out because he's in a lot of pain and just life hasn't been fair to him, but life hasn't been fair to Barbara either. And, you know, she's in her sunset years, you know, so be nice to her. Becky says, when Janelle is confronted about this, she's going to deny and gaslight like she did with Jace and the gun. And sadly, I do agree with you about that. No growth ever, right? Ever, 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 ever. Very, very sad, very scary, very weird, the things that she's willing to do to harm people, you know? Good point, Winnie, good point. Speaking of OnlyFans, did you guys know that Kayla's back on OnlyFans? She's selling something about her feet. I think I talked about this. I don't know if I did this publicly or if I only talked about it with my channel members, but Kayla's doing some kind of like foot fetish content. And so somebody wanted her to film a video of her like topless or maybe in a bikini or something, getting tickled, just all kinds of weird stuff, right? But I don't know. And I agree, Becky, but the thing that she did, putting it out there, is wrong. And I think that that sort of info, public record info, I don't know. Maybe that's a good question. Do you guys think this info should be so readily available? Like, I feel bad for victims in these situations that somebody can just get this information. However, at the same time, I do think it can protect other future potential victims as well, when they're doing their own background checks on people that they're dating or hiring or whatever. So I don't know. It's a very interesting topic there. Jess, oh Lord. Y'all, listen, y'all know me and are these called landscapes or skyscapes? I love seeing the sky from all these different perspectives y'all share. Does he only date people whose name rhyme with Janelle and Kenleigh? Janelle needs to not air Kenleigh's information. No, Kenleigh's, I love this. Kenleigh's real name is Kenleigh, but I don't know why, but I just like calling her Kenleigh because, she looks like Janelle to me. And she's like the same kind of bird, the same species of bird as Janelle is. Kelly says Janelle and Kale are so much alike. They'll end up as besties. It's just a matter of time. Listen, they are meant to be besties. And it worked for a long time. Kale was out there bailing her out of jail and everything. They were girls. They were homegirls. They were besties. And they need to find their way back to that. They do. Kale and her money. That's her true best friend. That's her true soulmate. Good morning, Sugar Main. Nice to see you. Happy Tuesday to you. Now, you guys, why don't we get into our Andy Cohen story as well? We've had such a good time with these Teen Mom stories. I'm feeling well fed. I hope you guys are too. So why don't we get into Andy Cohen? So y'all know how Real Housewives of Potomac stars Eddie and Wendy Osefo were recently arrested and charged with multiple counts of fraud. Well, their boss, or at least Wendy's boss anyway, Andy has officially gone on the record on Radio Andy to speak out about their arrest. And I've got his exact quotes right here. He says that he was, quote, like all of you, I found out about the charges against Wendy and Eddie Osefo on Friday morning. I was blindsided. There's not much that I can say. I know nothing of the charges more than you guys do, than what I've read. He says that he's very sad about their legal situation. And quote, I am a Wendy fan, and she has been a great housewife and a great role model. Wendy has always led with education and her solid family values. I'm really thinking about her and her family, and I'm certainly hoping that this is all some big nothing. Listen, I too hope that it's all nothing and it's a mistake and this is just a fever dream. It's not real. However, unfortunately, I very much do believe the charges against them, just given all the evidence that that was revealed in the indictment. And I'm saddened by it. And like I said in yesterday's episode of the show, I really, really do hope that if a plea deal is offered to Wendy and to Eddie, I really, truly hope that they put their egos aside and accept it. Because I would hate for them to get a good deal that could keep them out of jail or prison and then refuse to take it because they don't want to be seen as guilty. They'd rather roll the dice and hope that, I don't know, there's a technicality or something they can use to get off on these charges, right? They're presumed to be innocent, but I got to be honest with you guys. I do not think that they're innocent, right? So I really do hope that they do that. Remember, their Real Housewives of Potomac co-star Karen Huger, DUI Karen, she had a plea deal that could have kept her out of jail, but she was just so proud. She refused to admit fault. 5 DUIs, 4 DUIs, whatever, later. And she's still claiming she doesn't have a problem. So she went, took it to trial, and guess what? Guess what? Clankety clank, you guys, right? So I wouldn't be surprised if that happened to Wendy and Eddie. But I really, really do hope that it doesn't get to that place with them. I like Wendy. I like Eddie. I think they have such a beautiful family. And I'm still shocked by this news because I thought they were honest, working, educated people. And, to even hear about how stupid, truly how stupid, this crime was, alleged crime was, your security camera was running, didn't catch anything, no debris in the house, nothing moved, no broken glass. Emails between the two of you talking about how you're trying to jack up your insurance claim as much as possible. You're still wearing things that you claimed were stolen, proof that you returned other things that you claimed were stolen. Oh, please. It's a level of stupidity that feels like it's not even possible. For people at this level, 7 degrees between the two of you, but not a lick of sense. It's insane. Gwen says, I can't say much, but I know for a fact that public court records can save lives. And I agree with that too. It's just when used properly. What Janelle did there is not proper usage of that information, I guess is what I mean, right? Which is sad. Jody. Which is sad. Thanks, Star. Listen, I miss you, girl. Where you been? How are you? Are you in Miami? I have to find the right texture. The texture I was using last time just got matted too quickly. It was driving me nuts. Sometimes you wash your hair so well that you feel like you can breathe through through your head like a newborn baby. That's how I'm feeling now. I feel like I'm taking deep breaths up here. Sarah says, for a good almost 2 months, I really thought Janelle was Kenleigh. You just renamed her, but still one person. And no, it's 2 different people. He must have a thing for L's. Oh, that is hilarious, Sarah. That is absolutely hilarious. Yeah. Kenleigh is Kenleigh. But yeah, I'm sorry. I don't know if any of y'all are named Kenleigh, but it just makes me laugh to call her Kenleigh because she's a replacement Janelle, like a chick with low self-esteem in a warm house. That's what she was to David Eason, which is sad but true, right? Kelly says, did you all see those 2 mugshots? They were getting high on their own supply. Stone decisions are never smart decisions. I was very surprised by this. I've been telling you guys, I've been kind of like sober since the beginning of the year. Not 100%, but like 90% of the year, I'll say. And, just this stuff hits you more when you're like not into drinking or anything like that anymore, like, and you go out with people and everybody else is drinking and you see the eyes and stuff, like something about it is just so like, I don't know, you become so much more like sensitive to it. You know what I mean? So yeah, looking at the picture of them, it made me sad. I don't know, you guys, I know a lot of people like to do these things recreationally, but it just makes me sad that people are casually like doing drugs, I don't like it. It makes me sad. Sorry, I think people should be able to do what they want, but I don't know, something about it just, I don't know, makes me kind of sad. Period, Allie. You can't leave receipts, about conspiracy to commit alleged fraud. They should have at least turned and they should have turned off the Wi-Fi, cut the cables, pretended those people cut the cables. What was it that Dorit did with her people with like the cell phone and stuff? Something, Hey, Caroline, nice to see you, boo. Hope you enjoy the rewatch. Gwen says, yeah, I'm of 2 minds. Janelle likely has bad. She 1000% does, really, really not cool what she did. And I hope that she got thoroughly dragged for it. Star says, I have turned a new leaf. I got baptized this weekend and I'm in my monk/nun era, loving it, but still sipping tea. Well, congratulations. Listen, Star, every time I hear from you, it feels like you're on some kind of new, like completely new adventure. It's like a new season of a TV show. And I love it. I love that you keep us updated on what you're up to. It's so exciting, and I hope that you're still continuing to, feel better and better as the days go by. I really loved your Miami era though. Not going to lie. I loved your Miami era, girl. I was living vicariously through you. And I agree, Becky and Tia. They were definitely giving high. They're all high. Right? They look like they're trying to take the last hit of their lives. They're going to miss it, right? They are going to miss it, if they get convicted and locked up for a good amount of time. Kelly says, alcohol is a depressant, though. Weed is so different. No, I don't know. I just don't like substances in general. I'll be honest, because back when I lived in Canada, y'all know it's legal in Canada. I would take it for pain, period cramps, and I would just feel so depressed on that stuff. Not depressed, but like a zombie on that stuff. Anytime people talk about loving it, I'm like, why? I feel like such a zombie. I feel terrible. Becky says, agree. People high all day long is becoming a real problem, right? I don't know. Don't like it. Don't get it. Terry says, I make the best snacks and salads when I'm stoned and I collected them in a journal. So well, listen, I guess, what do I call this? It gets your creative juices flowing, right? And that's the thing about substances and whatnot. They affect everybody in completely different ways. There are people who become addicted, people who don't, people who are aggressive when they're on it, people who are not, people who are more jovial, it's just, we just don't all have the same reactions is what I'm realizing. Tia says, when you keep doing it, that's how you always get caught. 3 different claims for the same burglary. 3, insane. And exactly the paranoia. I remember the first time I did it. Paranoia. I really thought the cops were outside ready to get me, all that stuff, right? And Terry says she doesn't do it every day. Exactly. When people do anything every day to do with alcohol or rugs, it's just, it's a little bit worrisome to me. Just saying. Anyway, listen, you guys, I do have to take a little bit of a break. I'm going to finish my little iced coffee here, take a sip of water. And then when I come back, we are going to talk about Katie Rost, formerly of the Real Housewives of Potomac, coming out of nowhere to announce that her former RHOP co-star, Ashley Darby, slobbed her knob. Okay, if you're enjoying today's episode of the show, please don't forget to go ahead and give it a thumbs up, and I'll be right back to get into that final story with you guys, okay? The Morning Report is brought to you by Philo. Watch your favorite shows and movies from over 70 different channels, including MTV, TLC, WeTV, and more for only $28 a month. Get a free trial today by clicking the link in the description box of this video to get your free trial up and running. Tired of learning languages in boring, frustrating ways? Try TalkPal. TalkPal is your personal AI language tutor. It teaches you languages in fun, engaging ways. It gives you real-time feedback, assesses your pronunciation, and the learning process is personalized just for you. Join millions of other learners and start your language learning journey today. And we are back. We're back. All right, you guys, let's get into our final story of the day. We got to talk about Katie Rost and Ashley. And listen, I do have to ask you guys, mic check 1 2 1 2. Let me know if you think she's telling the truth. Okay, I'm going to read you her tweets. And y'all, please tell me if you think that Katie is telling the truth and that Ashley did indeed go to Chowtown on her. I don't know why she came out with this. Listen, somebody had just posted something about, actually, wait a minute. Wait, this is about the Janelle story. Oh my God, you guys, so sorry. This is the Janelle story. Hang on. Listen, I told you guys, I'm exhausted but energized at the same time. So essentially, Kenleigh caught wind of Janelle posting her restraining order online. And so she clapped back by saying, and I quote, shout out to Team Mom Chatter for these screenshots, by the way. But she clapped back by saying, I didn't send a picture of my restraining order to anyone, if anyone was wondering. I think she, being Janelle, drove her psychotic ass to the courthouse and got a copy. She should have drove herself to get institutionalized instead. And I completely agree with her. Janelle is obsessed with her. Janelle pretends she's over David, hasn't looked back, but she's obsessed with her and the fact that David moved on at a certain point, and she just wants to destroy this girl because this girl did also kind of, feed into the hateration and stuff, like the ish talking about her and whatnot. But at this point, that relationship is over. It's time to move on, right? So I imagine that perhaps I didn't get to look, because y'all know, listen, I used to be on Twitter. I used to love Twitter. I was one of the OG Twitter users. But I had to get off of it when things, Musk. So I haven't seen the responses in the tweet and whatnot, but I hope that a lot of people encouraged Kenleigh to file her own police report against Janelle, or to, for stalking, harassment, cyber stalking, something. I believe that Janelle has faced cyber stalking charges in the past. Either she faced them personally or she had them pressed against somebody else. Y'all, please let me know in the live chat if you're watching live, or in the playback posse if you're going to be watching the replay. But she was involved in some sort of cyber stalking case in some capacity, right? So yeah, let me know what you guys remember of that. But I do remember that it happened. By the way, Latasha's asking me if I'm on Blue Sky. I'm on Blue Sky, but nothing was happening on it. So I have an account, but I haven't been on that thing since the Nazi salute, because that's what the day I quit Twitter. And then I signed up for that. I signed up for Threads. I look at Threads from time to time, but it just doesn't inspire me to post, to be honest with you guys. B says, don't care for substances. I worry about side effects and addiction. Same. I just don't care for it. I shouldn't even say anymore, because I never really cared for the weed and stuff like that anyway. Alcohol, yeah, socially, but meh. Latasha says, you can tell they don't have the criminal mindset. This is about Wendy and Eddie, by the way. Too many careless mistakes. Exactly. They're not meant for this. They were desperate, right? If they did this, allegedly, they were just desperate and clumsy. Hamlet's Princess says, I started smoking at 30 and it makes me feel like a normal person. Ooh, I wonder what you mean by that. What about it makes you feel like a normal person? And I think this goes back to what I mean about like everybody having different brain chemistry and things impacting people differently. I know one of you guys was talking a little bit earlier about how it makes you creative for recipes and stuff like that. So I'm kind of curious about, your perspective. Hey, Kahara, nice to see you, boo. Listen, you're just in time for our final story of the day. So I'm glad you're back. I'm glad you're here. Kelly says this was against one of David Easton's other baby mamas. I still can't believe ladies are letting this man hit, let alone bust a nut. Ew, inside of them, gross. Gwen says, I like Blue Sky. More control over my algorithm, less bots, pretty pictures, and cute animals are like half my feed. Really? Okay, listen, I'll try to give it another chance then. Thank you. Yo, listen, I gotta be honest. I'm kind of lazy about social media. Outside of YouTube, like, I don't really like to post that many other places. But I need to. But I'm just a YouTube girly. Anyway, listen, y'all. I keep telling y'all I'm exhausted and energized at the same time. So I think I might need a nap. I got to get into the final story of the day with y'all. It is about Katie Rost, former Real Housewife of Potomac, accusing Ashley of chowing down on her coochie. And she came up with this story out of nowhere, by the way. I'm not saying that she made it up. I'm just saying that she's telling us this out of nowhere. So a fan page for Mary Cosby tweeted a picture of Ashley and her mom in her mom's wig. I think her mom is wearing that tired Mama Joyce wig. And then Katie Ross quoted it and said, Ashley and I love each other. There is no beef. Nobody asked you, Katie, because the post that you were quoting, it says, welcome back, Mama Sheila. It says nothing about Ashley. It certainly says nothing about you. So I don't know why you're quoting it and then putting this information out like you're kind of like quieting a rumor, But she has no couth. I gotta throw a flag. We all know she has no couth. Y'all saw that party that she threw in Sunday night's episode of the show. It's supposed to be a Class C second bloom party. All of a sudden, she has a lady pop in her coochie in the middle of the living room. Weirdo. My magical vagina that she told details about. She told Andy Cohen, I have a hamster coochie on national TV. She ate it, so I guess she would know. She's just a hater. We love you, Wendy. I listened to Ashley, Darby, and Jeff, Lewis, their episode of Watch What Happens Live. I listened to that today. I don't remember Ashley saying anything about Katie or her alleged hamster coochie. So I still don't understand where this came from. Can you guys give me some context on this? Because it's really surprising. Do I believe Katie? Yeah, absolutely. I think Ashley's a creep. She tries to make a move on these housewife co-stars all the time, right? The ladies. We saw her corner Jacqueline in a bathroom and ask her to kiss her and all this other stuff. She flirts with the other girls. Wasn't she humping Robin when she first met her? She's kind of a creep, right? So I wouldn't be surprised if she turned Katie out or something like that. I just don't understand where this is coming from, essentially. Just saying. So let me get into the comment section to see what y'all said. Don't forget, y'all, we did have a mic check about this. I said, listen, let's get that mic going. Mic check 1 2 1 2. Let me know if you believe Katie Ross that Ashley was out here chowing down on her coochie. Kahara says, I'm with you, Grace. I do not post on social media. I barely even look on social media. Right? It's too addictive. So I try to spend my time doing other things. Kelly says, I switched to Blue Sky too. It seems to be a bit nicer. X was just too much. Well, listen, y'all, this is very encouraging news then. I'll have to try to check it out. Helmut says, I have a severe OCD. There you go. And it helps me stop obsessing. Well, that's very, very interesting to know. I love that for you. So it is really interesting, the things it can do from a medical perspective. I love that. Oh my God, that's amazing. Are you in a state where it's fully legal, or do you have to have a medical card? Because that's a very interesting use case, Francine, you got a new photo. Hang on. Y'all know I'm nosy. Let me take a look. I can't yet see what it is. Oh, I remember this picture. It's your sweet doggy all cuddled up and tucked into bed. It's so cute. Francine says, hi, Grace and everyone. Well, wasn't it so sad, the news of Diane Keaton passed away? Oh, rest in peace to a beautiful, absolute beautiful legend. Very, very sad. Gone too soon, Diane Keaton. And you know what? On that topic, thank you for the reminder, Francine. Who else passed away recently? Joanne Goodall as well. Really, really amazing, amazing woman. Joan Goodall, I believe. Very, very sad. It's sad to hear about legends and icons and people who did so many beautiful things for the world passing away like that. And Jamie, exactly. I don't know what Ashley has with hamsters because she called Candace hamster face, and so she might have something to do with hamsters, right? Kahari says Ashley is such a weirdo. And I agree, low key. She's a weirdo, and that's how she wound up married to Michael. It's like Karen Huger said, they are cut from the same cloth, moldy, mildewy, messy. They're both weird. They're both creepy. Hamlet says, and I'm in Colorado. Oh, that's nice. Where if you need a card, you can get better stuff for a lower price. That's good. That's good. Because it's always sad when people need it for cases like medical things like that. They're not able to have access to it. So that's good. Tamara says she loves Diane. She seemed like a wonderful, beautiful person. Good morning, Ruby. Nice to see you, boo. Listen, Ruby, I feel like so rude. I'm saying hello to you as I'm getting ready to check out of the show. Listen, we had a good show though today, as usual. Yesterday's show was really fun too, by the way, you guys. So I hope you'll be able to join our playback posse to be able to go back and watch. Listen, Ruby, I also showed everybody this cake I made last night. I started baking it last night, and today I was decorating it. I made a confetti cake. So maybe you'll be able to get some more information about, that adventure and whatnot. If you go back and do the replay. And then, we're going to get into the Janelle stalking Kenleigh, releasing her restraining order, filing information and all that stuff. Andy Cohen talking about the shock he felt when he found out about Wendy and Eddie's arrest. And then, by the way, Kenleigh did respond to Janelle releasing her restraining order info. Oh, and then Acacia put us onto a final story. Well, it was the story we started off with, and it was about Kailyn Lowry celebrating her latest boyfriend, Black Isaac's birthday party. So that was at the beginning of the episode too. So feel free. It was a really good episode, and I hope you enjoy it on the playback, okay? Guys, I had a fantastic time chatting with you. Honestly, every day is just so amazing. So thank y'all so much for being here. I really do hope that you get to enjoy the rest of your day. And I'm looking forward to being back tomorrow at 10 a.m. Eastern Standard Time to talk more about the day's hottest stories. If you enjoyed today's episode of the show, please don't forget to go ahead and give it a thumbs up on your way out, okay? Bye, guys. Happy Tuesday.